Yes. I'm not sure exactly what you say next. I want to report something that's gone on.
I'm sorry, you want to what?
Report something that's gone on that I think is under FBI jurisdiction.
Okay, what is it?
I'm not exactly sure what sort of crime it is, but basically it's a national group that's, me in particular being the victim of this, used its power, influence, and claimed that I had admitted to felony stalking and couldn't be a member and terrorized me with this all in a case that actually was dismissed. But because even the prosecutor at a local level in this group was a member of the group, and I never really was properly told what was going on, I didn't know to read the legal records to know that they falsified records in a civil case to do this all to me, and since a civil court being a court of law, when they agree with you there, you assume it's all right until you eventually...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, what I'm talking about is that even in the past few years, I've been harassed due to false information from the United States National JCs who had engaged in a pattern of terrorizing me.
What are they doing?
Saying that I'm out to kill them and everything else, and can't be a member of their group and everything else is what they did, and they've let, when I've tried to protest and picket about it, I've received threats there, even from your own office, when your agents came down and told me I need to let this all go and not picket anymore or upset the wrong person, I'll get arrested.
When did this happen?
The fall of, not last year, the year before is when the agent came.
What is your name?
Michael Lake.
Okay. And what's your date of birth, Michael?
November 8th, 1966.
Okay.
And the one thing that kind of bothers me is I try to explain these things to the agent. But one thing I didn't know, and that's because they did such a... I mean, in that sense, this organization did what they could to conceal what was going on from me and other people like the judge that decided that past case and everything. I mean, if the FBI itself is believing something that isn't actually true, and threatening me with arrest and everything else, I mean, I believe it. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I believe there may be crimes like extortion or whatnot that could be. And my biggest thing is that I'm afraid of these people because they had done such a good job at lying, convincing everybody, because I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder a long time ago.
Okay.
And they had done such a good job at convincing me I'm nuts and wrong, didn't know what I'm talking about. Nobody could. And I knew that these things were wrong, but I didn't have the power to get anybody to look at. I couldn't afford fancy lawyers, you know. And it's only because of having to deal with consequences, like losing my last, that I've looked into it, and I put it, and it was my father who told me to look at the original and realize that in the original, how this all started even, that's what they've done. They've taken a person who was an innocent person and convinced a large number of people that I was a killer. I mean, I thought there are laws, I believe, about taking somebody and terrorizing them where but as if they're a criminal and everything, and they are. I mean, well, that's basically what they've done, is that I'm claimed that I'm an admitted criminal.
Okay.
And a dismissed case is not, I mean, there are conditions on the dismissal. The conditional dismissal where they could file charges again is not a plea bargain. It doesn't carry the same weight with employers, but I lost my last job because the employer got confused, I think, and if you follow this, and it's, I mean, I'm just, you know, in the trouble, they made it, the one thing this group did is that there's hundreds and hundreds of records, they made it so damn confusing that unless you knew the key points, you wouldn't understand.
Do you know what agent came to see you last year?
I can't remember, because he was here originally, and I wrote to the FBI because he had me scared to begin with, the stuff he said. And the one issue, I'll admit I have problems. After putting up with a lot of this stuff, I'm sensitive to, I mean, I appear to have something related to autism or Asperger's disorder. I don't know if you ever heard of them. And I'm learning on my own now to deal with stuff, but after putting up with so much basically harassment and being lied to about stuff, it was hard for me to, I mean, the agent basically had control over me when he came here because I didn't have the strength to, other than trying to stand up and defend myself, that's when they were threatening to arrest me and stuff. And I do have a roommate that witnessed it all. And, and by the way, it was Marcy Kapler's office that suggested that I call you guys, even though I was kind of scared about doing it. And so I got brave enough. But after everything else, and the other thing I realized is because in some ways, some of what's happened to me is like I noticed that in Stark County, they had an incident with the jail and whatnot last fall where things happened to a lady, and that, you know, FBI would probably get involved because I guess you do oversee local corruption. That's the other side of what I've been seeing.
You know what? I want to do a little research here, Michael, to find out who spoke to you last year and have the same agent talk to you again, because he's going to be familiar with what you're talking about, and I am not.
Well, see, I don't know if I want to talk to that same agent again.
I don't think you have a choice. I mean, if
all right.
Is going to come and talk to you, all right?
But here's the one issue I have. Is that whether it's real or not, I'm afraid that there's local corruption involved with this issue from Bowling Green.
Right.
And I don't know that necessarily the agent has anything to do with anything.
Okay. All right. Well, let me put the word out that you called, and we'll have that agent call you back. All right?
Okay. I'll try. I was in the military, so I should be able to deal with it. I get my wits up. So.
Okay. All right, Michael. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.